So the guy I have here, guys, is Ezekiel Elliott, because we're kind of in a weird place with Zeke. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been an elite running back. He's over 19 and a half points in PPR every season of his career, fell to 14.9 points per game in PPR this past season. His ceiling basically for fantasy just came crashing down, even his floor, which is what like Zeke's always been famous because his floor is so solid. He's the fucking floor master. But in 2020, Zeke finished outside the top 24 running backs 5 times, and that's how many times he finished outside the top 24 running backs in 56 career games before 2020. So, it's always been a volume play with Zeke, but even that came down a little bit last year. He also posted career lows in yards per carry, yards per touch. And I know situation can be everything for running backs. We, have just struggled to accept that with Zeke. Because we have Tony Pollard coming into the fold now. We have the Cowboys cratering when Dak Prescott goes out or when a little bit of adversity hits this offense. Plus, a lot of what we've pointed to in Dallas is no longer true. Not only has the offense shifted from being entirely run through Zeke to a pass-first unit under Kellen Moore, but the offensive line play has fallen off a cliff. And a lot of this is just really showing up in stuff like yards before contact versus yards after contact. Like, he's not getting the same advantages that he used to get, and he's not compensating with yards after contact. So you look at his touchdown totals, also a career low in touchdown totals, and he actually had a career high in goal line carries this year, by far tied for the league lead in goal line carries per PFF. The problem at the goal line, again, is just efficiency. He scored just 5 times inside the 5-yard line, scored 10 times on just 18 carries in that range of the field in 2019. So when we look at him for Ezekiel Elliott, we have to kind of, I guess, pave a new path that we're gonna frontier with him. But do we think the efficiency is going to come back to, do we think he's going to restore some of this efficiency that he's had in the past, or do we think with Zeke that maybe we have to kind of cut ties right now before it's too late? Because my point here, Mike, is that he could easily rebound and be a back end running back one because running back is so situation dependent. So will we covet the situation enough in 2021 with Dak coming back and everything, or are you trying to get out on Zeke Elliott?
I don't have Zeke anywhere in Dynasty, and I think if I had him, I would be holding. The biggest question for me is how was Zeke when Dak Prescott was the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? And the answer is, in a half-point PPR, he was scoring about 20 points a game. His lowest finish was running back 16. You throw the rest of the season away because you are absolutely right. Fantasy football for running backs is so situational. We want to believe in our hearts that it's these running backs that are getting everything done. I am unapologetically on team running backs don't matter. Sorry. But there are definitely running backs who are better than other running backs. So don't hear what I am not saying. There are top tier running backs, absolutely, who are when put in a good situation, will do better than a bad running back. Zeke and the Dallas Cowboys were put in a terrible situation. It wasn't just Andy Dalton who was starting games. You guys remember Ben DiNucci? And I can't even remember the other guy where like the Dallas Cowboys quarterback situation was a disaster. And I love me some Tony Pollard because, look, I love Memphis running backs. This is just something that I have discovered about myself after the Antonio Gibson love last year. What happened after Tony Pollard came in, single-handedly won me my semifinals in my league of record. Shout out Tony Pollard, my man, coming through. But how did Zeke respond after that? Because Zeke does not miss games. That's part of the ability of availability. Zeke has it. That dude is a monster. He always plays. He finally had to miss a game. Tony Pollard goes ham. Is great for the Cowboys. I mean, to be fair, Pollard had a good game, and then he had a really good play at the end of the game to close it out to make his stat line look very, very impressive. How does Zeke respond? And half-point PPR the very next game, running back 12 with 23 opportunities. That's how Zeke bounced back. 18 opportunities in the final game of the season, finished as the running back 20. Those were both divisional games. Zeke saw what Pollard did and said, nope, I'm not taking any more time off. I'm not going to heal up. I'm going to get back on the field and make sure that Tony Pollard knows that this is my team. And I believe that if Jerry Jones is still the owner of the Cowboys, this is Ezekiel Elliott's backfield. He will be the guy. And if Dak Prescott, yes, the money is there. If Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback, which the probability is he will be, if nothing else, he'll be franchised. They screwed the pooch so bad on the Dak Prescott situation. But congratulations, you have your wide receiver and running back under contract, but not your franchise quarterback. So good luck or good work with that, Dallas Cowboys. But if Dak is back, then yes, I'm all back in. I would 100% be buying the dip on Zeke. In redraft, Zeke is going to be a second half of the first round guy, and with name fatigue and one bad season, people are going to be bored of Ezekiel Elliott, and I will be, if I'm sitting there at 107 or whatever, I'm going to be super stoked that this guy who should be drafted as a top 5 running back just dropped to me.
Yeah, especially in redraft, I think Zeke's going to be a big target for that back. Like if he's going after the first half of the first round, it's crazy. I think a lot of it will come down to what his role in the passing game is. There's definitely a lot of rabbit holes to go down there. Like his yards per target, yards after the catch, per reception, both dropped all 5 seasons in the league. So I have some questions about his efficiency going forward, but definitely because of situation being so important, I think Zeke is somebody that we should not be fading, especially in redraft in 2000.
But though, like, look at those. So the first 4 games, I'm taking Zeke was still great. He was the running back 2 in the game that Dak went down. But the 4 games, he had Dak the whole for the whole game, and in those 4 games, he was averaging 7.5 targets per game. Like Dak is still going to throw him the ball because he's going to be on the field, and Dak has learned that throwing to your running backs is it's a good idea every once in a while.
Yeah, it's like the only dump off route in Kellen Moore's route trees that he's having all the wide receivers run anyway. So that's a really good point for sure. Because they're going to be a pass heavy. Yeah, they're going to be a pass heavy team. Like that's the other misconception that we've kind of had to battle with the Cowboys over the last year and a half or so.
Yeah,
and that's
so.
Okay.
We've actually
I want to pass.
We've been campaigning to get Kellen Moore a head coaching job, Mike, and it's been going since 2020. So it's we're now on Kellen Moore 2022 at this point.
Well, I think I'm going like Joe Brady. There's like Brian Dable. I got guys ahead of him now. Kellen Moore's like he's fallen.
Totally
Recency bias, man.